What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle today against our opponent, who is going to be Matt! Exclamation point, because it just emphasizes the awesomeness in the name, I think. I think that's what he was going for. But anyway, before we get into the teams here, just want to remind you guys that as long as this video reaches the magical number of 50 likes, we're going to continue those double daily Wi-Fi battle uploads for you, and all that good stuff. But getting into the teams here, on my opponent's side, definitely have some big threats there. We got Tyranitar and Azumarill, which are very powerful. Tyranitar also usually is very bulky on the special side with the Sand Up. Sometimes they like to run Assault Vest. Could even be Mega. And then we also have Gardevoir. That's probably more likely to be Mega than Tyranitar. Ferrothorn and Klefki, which tend to be utility and defensive, that kind of stuff. Although Ferrothorn could also run a Curse set, so we have to watch out for that. And then Thundurus, which just absolutely just destroys me. Every time I see it, yeah, it pretty much just has my number. So I was very wary of this Thundurus in this battle. Now on my side, I've got a mixture of Pokemon where my opponent has mostly OU stuff. I've got kind of stuff from all over the place. So, you know, Conkeldurr and Weavile are OU. And Salamence has kind of been going back and forth, but he is OU now. He was UU for a little while just because of usage, but he's banned from it for now. I guess he's BL at this point. Not technically OU, but whatever. Sceptile, I believe, was RU last gen. And then we've got Weezing as well that was, I believe, NU last gen. And then Torkoal is going to be my Stealth Rock setter. And Torkoal is just absolutely amazing. It is so tankish. Especially on the physical side, that it's just not even funny. Not even funny. Let's get into the battle, though. I feel like I've belabbered on long enough. So he's going to start off with his Klefki. I'm going to start off with Torkoal, so that's a pretty good matchup for me. I just need to watch out for the swagger shenanigans, if that's going to be something that he wants to try. He's going to go for the light screen here, which is not bad, because I could very easily do a lot of damage with a Lava Plume, or just really any fire type attack. So that was a good move on his part. Now he's going to go for the Thunder Wave. So I have my rocks up, and now I am paralyzed as well, which is fine, because Torkoal is also just terribly slow to begin with. But I get paralyzed on the very next turn, and I can't do anything. So that is unfortunate. Now he's going to go for the Reflect, get those that double screen thing going on. I am going to yawn him now, though, so he's going to have to switch out or fall asleep. So now that he has both his screens up, there's really no reason for him to stay in whatsoever. So he is going to switch out into his Azumarill, which is a little bit risky if you ask me, because he could switch into a Lava Plume and get burned. But I end up just going for the double yawn, and now he's going to switch out again, most likely, I would guess. Or just go for a Water type move and fall asleep. Nonetheless, I'm going to switch out to Sceptile as this Azumarill goes for the Aqua Jet, so it's going to fall asleep, which is great. He gets a crit with the Aqua Jet, so it does do a considerable amount of damage, which is unfortunate, but I would rather take that than having to take a Play Rough or something that would have killed me. Now he's going to switch out into Ferrothorn. He pretty much has to switch out there. And oh look, a shiny Ferrothorn. Very interesting colors going on. So I just went for the Giga Drain. I wanted to play it safe. I probably should have tried to predict who he's going to go into here, because the Ferrothorn switch was pretty obvious. But Giga Drain does absolutely nothing. I do get a little bit of health back, which is kind of nice, but it was really minimal. So it was kind of a bad move on my part. He's going to go for the Stealth Rocks here. You know, now we both have our rocks up, which is good for both of us, I guess. And now with Torkoal out here, he has to switch out. He does not want to take a Lava Plume. He can't risk me breaking through the paralysis, so he's going to go into his Tyranitar. And he's going to get the Sand Up and all of that stuff, which is a little bit unfortunate on my part. Not that it matters. I mean, I can't move anyway because I'm paralyzed again. The paralysis does not like me whatsoever. Thankfully, I do have the lefties on this Torkoal, though, so I can negate some of that Sandstorm damage. But I really can't do anything to this Tyranitar except try to put it to sleep with Yawn. But Azumarill is put to sleep, so I can't Yawn him. I am going to go for the Rapid Spin, though. And get rid of the rocks that he just put up, so at the very least he'll have to spend another turn putting them up when Ferrothorn comes back in, and that'll give me a chance to either switch around my team if I need to, or end up just killing it off, or just getting a decent amount of damage on it. Any of them is fine with me. I am going to switch out now, though. There's no reason for me to stay in with Torkoal. The most I can do is just Lava Plume. So I am going to switch into my Conkeldurr, and I should be able to take that Earthquake. Okay, it's not Stab, and I do. It's not that bad at all. It does about 60 damage, 70-ish to 75 when you include the Sandstorm damage. He's going to have to switch out now because the Fighting type move is pretty obvious. So he's going to switch into Ferrothorn because he can get the Iron Barbs damage when I make physical contact. So that makes a lot of sense. I am going to go for the Drain Punch. So it's going to be still super effective on this Ferrothorn, and it does a lot, maybe about 75% when factoring in the prior damage that it had. I get most of my health back, and I do take some Iron Barbs damage and the Rocket Helmet damage, so it brings me back down to basically where I was before. Maybe a little bit lower than that with the Sandstorm damage. I decided to switch out here. I guess I could have just killed him. But I'm going to switch into Torkoal expecting him to put rocks back up or go for T-Wave. He does go for the T-Wave, which is great. I probably should have just let him try to paralyze my Conkeldurr because then I would have got the Guts boost. But I didn't want any more damage on it just for no reason. So now he's going to switch out because he doesn't want his Ferrothorn killed off without even getting the Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet damage off. So he's going to switch into his Gardevoir, and I actually get to attack here for some reason. I don't know what's going on there, but Gardevoir takes that Lava Plume very nicely. Very, very nicely. It only does about 30%. So here comes the Mega Evolution. Not surprising, as I said from the beginning of the battle, Gardevoir was the more likely of his two potential Pokemon to Mega Evolve. I don't know if that sentence made sense or not. Probably didn't, now that I'm thinking about it. He's going to go for the Calm Mind here, and that is really bad because I only have special attacks. And he could just completely set up, and there's nothing I can really do about it. I am paralyzed and can't move, so I was really hoping to get a burn on this thing, get some residual damage, and then revenge it with something, but that's not going to be the case. He's going to go for another Calm Mind. And now he's going to be at +2 special attack, +2 special defense, and he really doesn't need either of those boosts to be very threatening. And Torkoal has almost no special defense, so this is a problem. This is a huge problem. I do get another Lava Plume off, and I get the burn, so he's down to about 50%, maybe like 40%-ish with the burn damage. I'm going to switch out now because that's really all I wanted to do. I'm going to switch into Weavile, hoping he goes for a Psychic type attack because that would be absolutely great and I can absorb that, but he goes for the Moonblast. That was way too risky of a play, but with him setting up like that, I felt like I really needed to make a ballsy prediction, and I made the wrong one. It should have been obvious that he would go for the strongest attack that he had. He might not have a Psychic type attack, but Torkoal resisted the Fairy type move, so I figured it would be a semi-safe switch. It was not. He either predicted me or whatever, but regardless, it was just way too risky. Very stupid play on my part. And he is going to go down here to the burn damage. Unfortunately, Giga Drain did not kill. And he gets a crit with a Moonblast. That does not matter. Sceptile goes down. So that is, I don't know. This Gardevoir just put a huge dent in my team. Weavile went down from full health. Sceptile went down from almost full health. I did preserve Torkoal, but I don't know how much good that's going to do me in the long run. So he's going to send out his Klefki here, and I've got my Conkeldurr out, which isn't a terribly bad matchup. I'm pretty sure that this is almost a complete utility set because, I mean, we've seen Reflect, Light Screen, and Thunder Wave so far. His other attack might be Foul Play, and I resist that. So I'm not too worried about this thing. Not too worried at all. The Drain Punch really doesn't do any damage after the Reflect. I get a little bit of HP back, but not much. So what I'm going to do here is switch back into Torkoal, expecting either a T-Wave or something like that. He's going to go for the Foul Play. And that does almost nothing because I have no investment whatsoever in my physical attack, and I do have full investment in my physical defense. So it does absolutely nothing. He's going to go for the Light Screen here because he basically has to. He already has me paralyzed. He can't do any damage to me. He has the Reflect up already. He has to lessen the damage that he's going to be taking from the Fire-type moves that Torkoal has. And it still does okay damage, especially for uninvested. He's going to withdraw now because he needs to preserve this Klefki. Now, out comes the Sleeping Azumarill, and there's nothing that I can do to it whatsoever. I just have to keep going for Lava Plume, basically, or switch out and try to kill it before it wakes up. I can't burn it when it's already asleep. It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, Sceptile's down, and that is a big problem. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch into my Weezing, and I should be able to burn him as soon as he wakes up because I do have both Thunderbolts and the Will-O-Wisp, so I can do damage before he wakes up and then burn him when he does wake up, which is great. I'm also eliminating the possibility of him using the the Belly Drum. I went for the Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, that's not a word. Will-O-Wisp. For some reason, I thought he would go for Aqua Jet, and that was just a waste of a turn. Unfortunate on my part that I did that. I don't remember if that was a misclick or not, but I really think that it was just because I was expecting him to go for the Aqua Jet. He barely has enough to go for that Belly Drum after getting the Citrus. If I went for the Thunderbolt before, when I went for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting him to wake up, it would have been completely different. So another misplay on my part. I'm just not playing well at all. I'm playing like crap. Aqua Jet still doesn't kill, even at +6, because Weezing is incredibly bulky on the physical side. I do kill him off with a crit Thunderbolt from 1 HP, basically. So that's another huge threat out of the way. We've got Gardevoir and Azumarill out of the way. I'm fine with that. So out comes the Klefki now. And he's below half, so I'm not too worried about this thing. He doesn't really have any attacks except for the Foul Play, and my physical attack is pretty low and uninvested. He tries to go for the Light Screen, but he already has the screen set up, so that may have been a misclick. Not sure. But there goes the Light Screen wearing off, and now he's going to set up the Light Screen again, but I do have the Fire Blast, so even with that screen up, this Klefki is going down as long as I hit. I went for the Willow, though, and that missed, so that is a little bit unfortunate. So he's going to go for the Thunder Wave here and paralyze me, and that's really not too bad because Weezing is not very fast, and I'm just really not worried about it. I do go for the Willow again, though, and for some reason I just really thought he was going to switch. I really, really did, but I don't know. I've already proven that in this battle I did not have my mojo, and I was not predicting very well, and now that I'm watching this again, because I watched it a couple times, but I didn't really realize how stupid the moves I was making were until now, basically. In comes the Thundurus, and he's going to take a lot of damage from the Stealth Rocks, which is great, but like always, he's just going to start wreaking havoc on my team, because Thundurus always destroys me. I can never answer this thing, and it might just be the way I build my teams, but I don't know. Thundurus always destroys my life. So he kills off Weezing with a Psychic, which is an unusual move for Thundurus to be carrying. In comes Torkoal, and he takes over half from a Thunderbolt, and he's paralyzed and can't move. So that is going to be a dead Torkoal, because he just needs to go for another Thunderbolt. And there's no chance of me surviving that. There's no reason for me to keep Torkoal alive at this point, because, I mean, it's kind of useful, I guess, but there's no reason for me to switch out and take massive damage. Now, I'm going to switch in Cassador the Salamence, who basically needs to kill off everything at this point. So I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance here, hoping that I can take one hit, hoping that he doesn't have the HP Ice. Doesn't look like he does. He goes for the Thunderbolt, and I get up to +1/+1, and I basically need to just one-shot this thing with the Dragon Claw, which I do. So Thundurus, I finally got my revenge on you. Finally. You took out 2 Pokemon in the process, but finally Thundurus goes down and does not destroy my entire team. Out comes the Tyranitar after I get the Moxie boost. He's going to set up the Sandstorm again, but that's not really that big of a deal. I'm not too worried about that at all. I do outspeed. I have the +2 attack, and Tyranitar doesn't usually invest in physical defense, so that Earthquake is going to finish off the Tyranitar, which is absolutely great. And what does he have left? Ferrothorn? I think Ferrothorn might be the only Pokemon he has left. So I'm going to get buffeted by the Sandstorm. I can take that very easily. The Light Screen wears off. Out comes the Ferrothorn, and it's at minimal health. No chance to survive an Earthquake. I do not even have to take the Iron Barb's damage, so I definitely came close to losing this match, just because I played really, really badly, and it wasn't that my Pokemon were outmatched. Even though we had mostly OU, I feel like I went toe-to-toe with these Pokemon, but I made some really, really bad plays, really bad predictions, and I think that could have been a much higher score as far as me winning the match. Not that he couldn't have made different plays, but I feel just the way things unfolded, just if I made some not stupid predictions, like basically just throwing away Weavile, which is such an amazing Pokemon, things could have been a little bit different. But regardless, Castador the Salamence definitely pulling out the win for us and pulling us out of that hole that I dug myself into. So I have to bring Salamence more often. I really want to try it on Battle Spot. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I like to use mostly underused Pokemon, though. That's the thing, is that a lot of the overused Pokemon that I do like, I'm like, well, they're overused, but there's nothing wrong with using them. And Salamence, for sure, is just an awesome Pokemon. So, gotta try to include some of them in the teams a little bit more often. Anyway, that is going to be it for this time, guys. I don't have anything else that I really want to say about this. So thank you, as always, for watching. And do not forget to leave a like on this video, because remember, if we reach 50 likes, I'm going to keep up those daily double battles for you and all that good stuff. But I will see you for the next battle. But until then, game on.